Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Pralladaladaine Ladadain Hiranyakasipurvakshaha Srilatanganakalai Srilatanganakalai Ito Narsingha Parato Narsingha Ito Narsingha Parato Yato Yato Yami Tato Nrsimha Yato Yato Yami Tato Nrsimha Bahir Nrsimha Hridaye Nrsimha Bahir Nrsimha Hridaye Nrsimha Madim Saranam Prapade Saranam Tava Kara Kamalavare Nakham Adbhuta Stringa Dalita Hiranyakasipu Tanu Bringa Kesavadhrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Kamalavare Kam Adbhuta Sringa Lakasipo Tanu Bringa Kesavadhrita Narahari Rupa Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jaya Kesavadhrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Kesavadhrita Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jai Jagadish Hare Jaya Narsimhadev 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 Jaya Narsimhadev Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Prahlad Maharaj प्रेम से बोले सब विघ्न विनाशक श्री लक्ष्मी नरसिंहदेव भगवान की भक्त श्रीमणि श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की गौर प्रेमानंदे. There will be class on Bhagavad Gita here from 7:30 to 8:30 p.m. So please those who want to hear it, please kindly be seated. अभी यहाँ पर भगवद गीता में अंग्रेजी में प्रवचन होगा 7:30 बजे से 8:30 बजे शाम तक. जिन किसी को भी इस प्रवचन को सुनना है कृपया टेम्पल हॉल में बैठे रहिए, आवाज़ मत करें, शोरगुल मत करें. हरे कृष्ण.
क्या रखा था मैंने? क्वेश्चन तो मेरे को आपके स्पीड से जाना पड़ता है। हरे कृष्णा। हरे कृष्णा।
हरे कृष्ण। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. जय कलियुग पावन श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तां सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we'll continue our discussion on the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2. This chapter is entitled Contents of the Gita Summarized. Verse number 58. Yada samharate chayam kurmonganiva sarvashah Indriyani indriyarthebhyas tasya prajna pratisthita. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. One who is able to withdraw his senses from sense objects, as a tortoise draws its limbs within the shell, is firmly fixed in perfect consciousness. Purport. The test of a yogi, devotee, or self-realized soul is that he is able to control the senses according to his plan. Most people, however, are servants of the senses and are thus directed by the dictation of the senses. That is the answer to the question as to how the yogi is situated. The senses are compared to venomous serpents. They want to act very loosely and without restriction. The yogi or the devotee must be very strong to control the serpents, like a snake charmer. He never allows them to act independently. There are many injunctions in the revealed scriptures. Some of them are do nots and some of them are do's. Unless one is able to follow the do's and the don'ts, restricting oneself from sense enjoyment, it is not possible to be firmly fixed in Krishna consciousness. The best example set herein is a tortoise. Tortoise can at any moment wind up its senses and exhibit them again at any time for particular purposes. Similarly, the senses of the Krishna conscious persons are used only for some particular purpose in the service of the Lord and are withdrawn otherwise. Arjuna is being taught here to use his senses for the service of the Lord instead of for his own satisfaction. Keeping the senses always in the service of the Lord is the example set by the analogy of the tortoise who keeps the senses within. So we are continuing the discussion on the topic of Sthita Pragya. Sthita Pragya is one Sthita Pragya means, we saw it last time, how someone whose intelligence is fixed in the purpose, in the goal, and not get carried away by distractions. So, in the beginning of the section, Krishna spoke about how a yogi withdraws his mind from all kinds of distractions. Sarvan parthamanogatan atmanyevatmana tushtah sthita pragya sthadochate. So this sthita pragya theme, Krishna elaborates to a large extent. So here he is giving the example of a tortoise, kachwa. Yada samharate chayam kurma. Tortoise is kurma. Kurmongani vasarvashah. So you must have seen videos of tortoise attacked by wild animals, lion or cheetah attacking. So what happens? As soon as the tortoise senses a danger, it withdraws the senses inside the shell, right? And the lion or the tiger is trying to find out, is it a living being or a dead stone? And then it plays around, and then it thinks that it is dead matter. And after trying hard, it goes away, right? So until then, as long as the lion is there, the animal is there, the predator is there, the tortoise is safely inside the shell. And as soon as it senses that the danger is gone, then slowly it comes out. It pulls out its senses out of the shell. So Krishna is giving that example. A yogi behaves like a tortoise. It is said that Even if an elephant puts his foot on the tortoise, the shell is so hard that it cannot break. That's how strong the shell is. That's how protective the shell is. That's how secure the tortoise is inside the shell. So a yogi, Krishna says, behaves like a tortoise. As soon as the yogi sees a danger, it pulls inside the senses. So danger for a yogi means distraction. Any of the senses getting distracted is the danger. Just like if you're driving a car. So a driver has to be very careful. Anyone coming from opposite direction, आगे पीछे सब देखना पड़ता है ना. Anyone crossing the road, any animal, dog or cow crossing. So many things he has to be careful of. Sometimes you may be careful, but the person coming from the opposite direction may not be careful. So there is danger there also. So similarly, the driver has to be careful, not get distracted. क्या बोलते हैं वो लोग? नजर हटी, दुर्घटना घटी. Similarly, for a yogi also, the moment the yogi gets distracted, then durghatna ghati. So we have the five senses. In one of the later verses, Krishna says, I forget. Any of the senses getting distracted can ruin the spiritual life of the yogi. So any of the senses means eyes, ears, nose, touch, and taste. There are so many distractions in this world that can drag our attention from the main purpose of life. Especially in today's world of advertising, every advertising billboard, picture, ads are trying to distract us, saying this is the real thing. You have to purchase this. Without this, you cannot enjoy. Make your life happy by getting this. It could be a simple thing like a set of clothes or some product, or it could be more expensive thing like a house, a car, some vacation to some foreign land. And we may think, this is the thing. I don't want to miss this out. This opportunity will come only now. And if I miss this, then we don't know. Kab aayega yes opportunity. So all these can be distractions. For a yogi who is fixed in his purpose, he has to be careful. So just like in a battlefield, the soldier has to be careful. Dushman kahan se attack kar raha hai. Similarly, the illusory energy, Maya Devi is looking for weak points. Where is the weak point of this soldier, this yogi? Is he alert? Are they watchful? And if they are not alert, then the enemy attacks and the soldier is killed. So even in the battlefield, you cannot be all the time alert. You get exhausted, right? Every time you are alert. Occasionally you have to take a break, go to a safe zone, and then rest for some time, and then come back, and then again be watchful. So similarly, we have to be careful. The soldier has to be careful for weak points and not allow the enemy to understand what his weak points are. Even in a sports game, right? Cricket or boxing match, football match, the opposite party is looking for kahan pe inka weak points hai. Suppose the bowler is bowling and he knows the batsman's weak point. Then accordingly he will bowl a short pitch ball or a Yorker, whatever. Because the batsman is a weak point. So we all have weak points, and wherever the weak point is, that's where we will be attacked. So some people have weak points like maybe controlling the tongue. We may be addicted to certain food items, or certain type of music, or certain type of scenes, visuals, certain type of literature. And those things can be our distractions. Addictions are the biggest distractions. Alcohol, drugs, smoking. For a yogi, whatever our distractions are, weak points are, we have to be careful. Whenever we see these distractions, allurements coming in front of us, what does he do? Withdraw. Withdraw the senses like the tortoise. Go inside a shell for some time. When the enemy is gone, you come out. Like many times, my students come and tell us, Arey, I had given up alcohol, I had given up smoking, but then after 6 months, I have again started it. Why? The friends लोग है क्या करें? दोस्त लोगों के साथ गया था पार्टी करने, and then I got carried away. Now I have to again work so hard to give it up. Again some other party comes, someone calls you. Again you fall back. So similarly, a yogi goes through this cycle. But if you are aware that if I go to this place, then there is a danger. So then why take the risk? Why take the risk? Because our senses are very strong. Indriyanam hi charatam yanmano nuvidhiyate tadasya harate prajnam vayur navamivambasi. Krishna speaks this in the later part. Indriyanam, so indriyas, the sense organs are charatam. जैसे गाय चरण करती है. So indriyas are roaming around and doing charan, absorbing the objects, each sense. And one object can drag away the mind, drag away one of the senses. Yan manonuvidhiyate. Tadasya harate prajnam. One senses that has gone distracted, that sense can harate prajnam, can steal away the intelligence. Just like vayur navam ivambasi. Just like a wind carries away a boat in the sea, middle of the ocean. So strong wind comes, then the captain of the boat cannot control the ship or the boat. And instead of going in this direction, the boat goes in some other direction. Because the boat is not strong. Or the captain is not strong. Similarly, a yogi or a person is traveling in the spiritual path in a certain speed, in a certain direction. And suddenly a wind comes. यहाँ जाने के बजाय कहीं और ही पहुंच गया वो बेचारा. So therefore, if we are warned before, अरे cyclone आ रहा है, danger आ रहा है, be careful, then we can take protective measures. Similarly, Krishna here is warning us. Whenever you see a danger, don't keep your senses open. Like the tortoise, withdraw them. Withdraw them inside the shell. That is intelligence. Withdrawing the senses when there is a danger is a sign of intelligence. Some people may say, "Arey, kya dar rahe ho tum? Be bold, go ahead. Dekha jayega aage kya hoga." That is not appreciated here. When to be bold, when to be careful, that also needs intelligence. Foolishly, if we are bold, then we will land up in trouble. When the enemy is really strong, you don't have to unnecessarily challenge the enemy. Just like a tortoise. Tortoise doesn't challenge the lion, right? The tortoise understands. That's not my strong point. Better withdraw. When the lion is gone, then there are so many other challenges we have to deal with. Why take up additional challenge? So in this way, our eyes should be like an antenna, radar, always scanning for dangers. As soon as we sense one danger, withdraw. Just like some celebrities had come here yesterday to the temple and they had security guards. So they were not interested in watching what the celebrities are doing. They were always scanning. कौन कैमरा से फोटो खींच रहा है, यहाँ पे कौन है, वहाँ पे कौन है, continuously. Everyone else is watching them. These guys are watching the dangers कहाँ पे. So whenever a prime minister comes or any politician comes, they have so many security guards. They are not looking at the celebrity or the prime minister. Constantly watching, where is the danger? Similarly, our mind should be alert to danger, like the tortoise. So there is a gap between fantasies and our finances. We have so many fantasies. I want this, I want that, I want this. But unfortunately, our finances don't permit to fulfill the fantasies. है कि नहीं? पैसा इतना ही है, सपने तो बड़े. How much can I fulfill? जय राधा गोपीनाथ भगवान की. So I have few thousand rupees and I want a home in Malabar Hill. How can I? Then I have to take a loan. But then you will spend a whole life in fulfilling the loan. So if there is a big gap between our fantasy and our finances, that will unnecessarily create anxiety and depression. But the whole advertising industry is geared towards this. Advertising industry means you have a certain fantasy, they blow up the fantasy beyond your capacity. So if you have a capacity to purchase certain set of clothes, the advertising industry will say, nahi. These are ordinary clothes, ordinary shoes, ordinary watch and phone. Come on, you deserve something better, far better. But that is beyond my finances. So this is a distraction. Realizing what my limitations are, what my capacity is, not getting carried away by the propaganda. That is kurmongani vasarvashaha. Withdrawing the senses. Someone may say, I don't have any financial problem. Whatever the propaganda, I can fulfill all my fantasies. Even if someone can fulfill, still that enjoyment doesn't last long, right? Eventually it will wear down. वो जो दिखावा था initial, after a few days or a few weeks it is gone. The shine is gone. So therefore, there is limitation to what the senses can fulfill. Our body has a limit to enjoy. Our mind can imagine many things, but the body has a limited capacity to enjoy. And admitting and accepting what that capacity is will keep us happy, no matter what the propaganda is. Nature of the mind is to imagine something very great. Like once you run after it and get it, the mind will say, "Arey, itna bhi kuch hai nahi isme." A simple thing, ordinary thing. And then we regret, "Arey yaar, why did I spend my entire fortune on purchasing this?" So in this way, there are very nice instances. History describes several case studies of people who got carried away by distractions. Later they regretted, they corrected themselves and then made their life successful. So there is a famous story of Vishwamitra Muni. Heard of Vishwamitra? Vishwamitra is one of the seven Brahmarshis. Now it is Saptarshi, I think. He was a very powerful sage. But initially he was a king of one state. Very powerful king, Kshatriya. So one day he happened to go to a forest for some routine work. And there he met a sage. Who was that? Vasishta Muni. And there the sage welcomed him, Vasishta welcomed him nicely, offered him nice reception. He and his entire army, they were well received and given nice welcome, comfort, made them comfortable. So Vishwamitra was surprised. How could a simple sage with no possessions, no facilities, how could he manage to provide all these facilities to us? इतनी बड़ी सेना को खाना वीना खिला दिया. Then he realized that Vasishta Muni has a nice cow. Kamadhenu cow. The cow could fulfill all desires. Kamadhenu, सारे कामों को fulfill करने वाले. So anything you ask this cow, the cow could provide. So Vishwamitra thought, what is the use of this cow for this simple Brahman sage? I am the king of the land, Kshatriya. I should get this cow. Because I have to rule the kingdom, so much responsibilities. This Brahman doesn't need this cow. So he asked Vasishta, दे दो. पहले request किया. Vasishta said, no, Baba. I am dependent on this cow. I have to do so many yagyas and sacrifices and so many things. I have to do charity. Therefore, this cow is essential. I cannot give you. So Vishwamitra got angry. मैं राजा हूँ इस देश का. How can you refuse my request? So then he snatched by force. If you can't give me, I will snatch it. The cow started crying, requesting Vasishta, please protect me. So Vasishta went before the cow and said, look, I can't protect you. I don't have armies. And this guy has armies. So you, just like you provided all these things to me, you only defend yourself. You have the capacity. So as soon as Vasishta ordered this, the cow generated from itself armies and weapons. And that army destroyed the whole army of Vishwamitra. So Vishwamitra was surprised. Such a powerful cow. Right? So then he inquired, kaise Vasishta could do this? Someone advised him, this is because Vasishta has Brahma Tejas. Brahma Tejas is more powerful than Kshatriya Tejas. The power of austerity, power of tapasya, penance, sense control. This power is more powerful than the power of your armies and weapons. You may have big armies, but a simple Brahmana like Vasishta destroyed you. So Vishwamitra realized that is true. I had these armies, nothing, it couldn't do anything. So then he decided, why should I remain a Kshatriya? Let me also become a Brahma Rishi like Vasishta. So then he gave up his kingdom. He decided, I will become a Brahma Rishi. He went to the forest to perform tapasya, austerity. Because austerity gives you power, strength. Here also Krishna is talking sense control. Indulgence depletes our power. When you indulge, enjoy. release all our physical energy in enjoyment, that actually destroys our power. Restraining, abstaining from sense objects actually makes one powerful. People don't realize the advantage of sense control. They feel sense control is a foolish thing. Come on, enjoy life, indulge, enjoy. Ultimately, life is meant for enjoyment. Khaya piyo, ash karo. They don't realize when to control, when to regulate the senses. Unrestricted enjoyment is destructive. Regulated enjoyment is recommended. Anyway, so here Vishwamitra decides, I will control my senses. And then he goes to the forest and starts performing tapasya. And tapasya is not simply few minutes of meditation every day. Like many yogis, many people do meditation nowadays. 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Usually for health benefits, some tension release and stress control. 10 few minutes they do meditation, which is good. But here Vishwamitra is not doing that kind of meditation. He is like determined to become a Brahma Rishi. And in those days, tapasya meant days and days and months and years of sense control. Staying inside a forest, no support, no social living, focusing on the divine, mantra, meditation, chanting, controlled eating, controlled breathing, no distractions. So in this way, Vishwamitra did a long time. And he gradually was advancing. So when sages on earth do this kind of tapasya, someone up there gets disturbed. Who's that? Indra gets disturbed. Indra is the king of heaven. So he feels this guy is performing tapasya to take away my position. Because Indra also is a position who got this position because he performed tapasya. Some good things he did. So therefore he feels insecure. Hey, why is this guy performing tapasya? And then he sends people to distract them. He sends apsaras to these sages in the forest. So when Indra saw Vishwamitra is kind of serious in his tapasya, he sent whom? One apsara named Menaka. Menaka is like heavenly damsel. Menaka आ गई Vishwamitra के पास. Now Vishwamitra is deep in meditation, and suddenly he hears a sound of Menaka's pile. So he is wondering, who is this? Suddenly in the middle of the forest. And then he opens his eyes and then he sees the beautiful form of Menaka trying to attract him, seduce him. So he understands, like the yogi here, this is a distraction. But then he got carried away by that distraction. And eventually he gave in. And then they got married. And then a child was born. Who was that? Shakuntala. Shakuntala, who later married King Bharat. Dushyant Bharat. She married Dushyant and Bharat was born. King Bharat. Later. So anyway, so Vishwamitra got carried away. इतना साल तपस्या करने के बाद all those punya or the power he had accumulated was exhausted in enjoyment with Menaka. So it's like tapasya is like you are accumulating your bank account, and enjoyment is like you're exhausting your bank account. So itna sara tapasya got exhausted in a few years of enjoyment with Menaka. And suddenly one day he realized, अरे क्या कर रहा था मैं, कहाँ पहुँच गया? I was into my deep spiritual focused meditation I was doing, and suddenly I got distracted. गाड़ी कोई और ट्रैक पे चली गई. So then he realized, then he says, no, I have to get back. He abandons, he gives up Menaka and then comes back, decides again start the whole thing. Again do the meditation. He didn't get discouraged. That has to be appreciated about Vishwamitra. Again he started. So he had spent hundreds of years, maybe 1,000 years. Again he started meditation. And this time he was determined, abhi no distraction. Now I have to be focused. Pata nahi kaun aayega aage jaake. He continued his meditation. And another distraction came. Who was that? Another Apsara. Indra is also determined, equally determined, like Vishwamitra. He sends another Apsara, whose name was Rambha. Now this time Vishwamitra is careful. He is aware. This is another test. But this time he controls his lust. Earlier he became a victim of lust. This time no lust. But he became a victim of anger. He got angry at Rambha. And he cursed Rambha because she was trying to distract him. So Rambha got cursed, but then he lost all his punya in the meanwhile, in the process. So anger is also danger. In the Gita, Krishna says, Kama krodhas tatha lobhas tasmadetat trayam tejet. Lust, anger and greed are 3 gateways to hell. Therefore, trividham narakasyedam dwaram nashanam atma. A yogi or a devotee has to give up these 3 gates to hell. Kam, Krodh and Lobha. So earlier Vishwamitra became a victim of lust. Now this time he became a victim of anger. But then again continued. He understood the mistake. Again he started the whole procedure of meditation and the yoga. Again hundreds of years. So this is all Satya Yuga time where you live long. We may wonder 100 years कैसे जी रहा है वो. कलयुग में तो impossible है, but Satya Yuga में this was possible. People used to live for thousands of years. Again he lived. Again he continued meditation. Finally, after a long time, Lord Brahma comes and blesses him. Now you are a Brahma Rishi. Actually, he faced another test later. There was this one king whose name was Trishanku. He wanted to go to heaven, Swarga. So Swarga is not a tourist spot where anyone can go anytime. You need eligibility. Just like if you want to go to America, you just can't purchase a ticket and go, right? You have to get a visa and other things. So Swarga means you need sufficient eligibility, punya, stock of punya, your behavior, all those things. Those are people who enter into Swarga. But this Trishanku, he lacked those qualifications. But then he wanted to go. So he approached Vasishtha, saying, can you send me to heaven? Vasishtha looked at him, scanned him and said, impossible. You are not qualified. But he couldn't take it. He wanted to go. So he went to Vishwamitra. And he said, can you take me to heaven? Vasishtha, by the way, refused. Can you do? So Vishwamitra already had an enmity with Vasishtha, right? So if my enemy cannot do, then I will definitely do. That was the mood he had. I will take you to heaven, send you to heaven. So then by his power of tapasya that he had gained, he started sending him, pushing him into the heavenly regions. But then those people are very alert. They saw koi to intruder, terrorist, terrorist entering our heavenly region. So they pushed him back. And Vishwamitra is pushing him from here. थोड़ा football खेला उसके साथ. Finally, he gave up. Those people were strong. They said, no, this guy cannot enter. So in that whole drama, Vishwamitra exhausted again a lot of his tapobal. Finally, he created an intermediate region where Trishanku got stationed. He couldn't enter Swarga. Something he created in between, which acting like a constellation or something nowadays in modern astronomy. The point is how he again exhausted a lot of his merit in all these petty affairs. Initially lust with Menaka, then Ramba, and then Trishanku. Every time he exhausted, then he had to again work hard. Finally, he became a Brahma Rishi. But he said, I will accept this title only if Vasishtha accepts it. Ultimately, it was a competition with Vasishtha. So he wanted Vasishtha to accept him as Brahma Rishi. So because of his intense tapasya, he got very much purified. All those egoistic clashes he had, the anger issues, lust, anger, greed, all those things got purified. And when he went to Vasishtha, Vasishtha also could recognize that Vishwamitra is now a changed person. He's not coming here with the egoistic, competitive mentality to fight with me. And then Vasishtha also accepted him as a friend. And Vishwamitra was happy. Finally, a Kshatriya becoming a Brahma Rishi, which is an exception. You generally don't change your nature. It is very difficult to change one's nature, one's varna. But in this case, Vishwamitra was an exception. Later Vishwamitra became the teacher of Ram and Lakshman in Ramayana, in Ayodhya. When Vishwamitra wanted to kill Tataka, the demon, he came to Ayodhya, requested Dasharath to take their sons, Ram and Lakshman. And Ram and Lakshman went with Vishwamitra Muni, where Vishwamitra guided them how to fight and gives a lot of knowledge. And then Ram and Lakshman killed those demons in the forest. And finally, they came back. So Vishwamitra, that same Vishwamitra, who initially was a Kshatriya with a competitive, egoistic mentality, later became so qualified that Ram and Lakshman, Swayam Bhagavan, became his students. That's a big privilege. God becoming a student is a big privilege, a big service you can do. So in this way, Vishwamitra is a good example of how a yogi has to be careful in our dealings with the outside world, and how we should be not distracted by temptations, distractions, allurements. A similar story in the life of Haridas Thakura. The Chaitanya Charitamrita describes the story of Haridas, who was born in a non-Hindu family, but he was a devotee of Krishna. He would chant Krishna's holy names several times, thousands of names a day. That's how his absorption was in devotion to Krishna. So whenever someone is so dedicated, other people get envious, and then they want to distract and spoil their name and reputation. So this is 500 years ago. Haridas Thakura's story is 500 years old, in somewhere in Bengal, West Bengal. So there was this local zamindar who got envious of Haridas. When he saw the Haridas is becoming very popular in society, he felt, iska naam kharab karna chahiye. So he sent a prostitute to Haridas Thakur's ashram to distract him. So prostitute came to Haridas Thakur's place and tried to present various poses in order to distract Haridas Thakur. But Haridas Thakur is like busy chanting Hare Krishna. So the prostitute came and spoke to him, and then he said, okay, please wait here. I will satisfy your desire, fulfill your desires. But I have a vow. I vow that I have to chant a certain number of names every day. Once I finish this quota, then I will satisfy your desires, demands. So this lady sat there, hearing Haridas Thakur is chanting, and this lady is hearing. तो chanting करते करते खत्म ही नहीं हो रहा है. The whole night got over. Sunrise happened. तो इसका खत्म नहीं हो रहा है. So finally she said, "अरे, you promised something and then you didn't fulfill my desire. You didn't keep your promise." So he said, "I am really sorry. क्या है ना, वो wow खत्म नहीं हुआ है. Today evening you come. I will fulfill your desire." So next evening she comes again. And he said, again, sit there. Please hear the chanting. Tulsi Maharani hai, and he is sitting. Again the same thing happens. He is chanting, and she is waiting. Kab khatam hoga. And the whole night gets over. Again dawn breaks out. Again he apologizes. I'm really sorry. Kya kare? Third night she comes again. And again, this time also this time she is hearing and she is also chanting. And at the end of third morning, this prostitute's mind has transformed. And she apologizes, saying, I am really sorry. I had a very evil agenda to spoil your name, to spoil your reputation. Actually, I was sent by this zamindar. He had sent me with this idea of spoiling your name. But now I realize you are a great saint. And this shouldn't have been done. I shouldn't have done this. And I'm really sorry. So please forgive me. Please bless me so that I can also become a devotee. Please bless me with the mantra that you are chanting, and I will follow your footsteps. In this way, Haridas Thakur blesses her, and then he requests her, give up all this occupation that you are doing, give up all your wealth, distribute your wealth to the needy, and then change your life. And that's how she gets transformed. So another yogi who didn't get distracted. One yogi is getting distracted, but again he eventually got transformed. But here is a yogi because, see, how long can we withdraw the senses, right? ये नहीं दबा के कितना रखेंगे हम लोग? But the senses need positive engagement. The mind and the senses are positively engaged, then distractions don't matter. That's the point here. If a mind is engaged in a very superior occupation, then even if there are hundreds of distractions, mind is not carried away. So that's ultimately the solution. When there is a danger, definitely we have to withdraw. But how long can we stay hidden inside the shell? In spite of the danger, if we can find positive occupation, then that is a safer approach in dealing with temptations. So in this way, Krishna talks about the need for a yogi to be extremely careful about distractions. Especially it is relevant to us because we are living in a world of distractions. In earlier ages, the distractions are very less compared to what we have to go through. Every moment, the phone is a distraction. So many messages keep coming. You go outside, there is a distraction. Thoughts, millions of thoughts keep coming, millions of ideas, images keep bombarding on our mind. Everything can be a distraction. But if we can give the mind a taste of superior occupation, superior engagement, then then our life is saved. So that's the message Krishna is saying, and we will continue the theme in the coming verses. So we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Yeah. So one announcement, we have an upcoming Bhagavad Gita course named Bhagavad Gita Essentials. This is from July 26, 27, 28, 3-day course, evening 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. here in the temple. So if you want to enroll, please contact our Alpesh Prabhu standing there with that banner. You can pay the required fees and register yourself. Hare Krishna.